Okay, welcome to Datavisor Discoveries. We are going to discuss decorators today, and let me start by making a folder of decorators dot file of decorators dot py. So decorator is nothing but a function, right? So it is a function, but it is a special kind of functions, right? That take argument as also function, right? Okay. Let me write that definition first, and then we are going to discuss more about this thing. A decorator, it is just a function that takes another function as argument and functionality some functionality or features and return to another function. What it does is just it adds some functionality to our function, right? Functionality are the features and it will return to other functions. Okay, we are going to do it. First of all, I to explain this, I do not go directly into the decorators. I'll just make first the basics clear, so then we'll discuss about the decorators. Okay, so let me write down this step one first. So here, if I define a function, define so, and let me define so this is a function, and we are print hello old. Okay, so if I am printing hello old over here, so we have seen how to call this function. Okay, but what I am going to do here is that print, and I am going to pass in the function as a parameter to the print function. Okay, so let me first of all run this program, python decorators.py. So if I run this program, the first thing you observe is that it will give you hello as as a as expected, right? Print hello, and it is giving you the hello as expected, but for it is also returning you the non is coming from this print function. Okay, if you just print only with the nothing, then it should show you none, but it will not give you anything here. But if you do so, then it will give you, first of all, it will print hello world first, and then it will give you none. Okay, none is coming from this print function. So if I just do return and my name, let's say Mohan. So if I run this program, so I will get, so this none is coming from this case. Okay, not from the print but from the so. Okay, so if I do this, if I return nothing over here, then it will give me none, but I want to return my name, so I'll write over here Mohan. So this will give me this hello old Mohan. Okay, this I think this thing is clear in this first step. Now let's move to the next step. Okay, in step two, what we gonna say is that everything in Python is object in Python. Okay, so everything uh, you see in Python is an object. Okay, we have seen int type class. Okay, so int type class, float type class, list class, right? We have seen all of these in our previous videos, but we are going to discuss about oops concept in our future videos. So so be so we are going to discuss about oops in our future video also. So let me run this so first over here, define so, and if I do print, let's say hello world, okay, again hello world, and if I, let's say var, and if I just uh, just declare a variable and give the value so, then I just want to show you what is this type of bar. Okay, if I show you this type of bar, then it will show you class function. Okay, this is also a class. So if I need to call that show function, then what should I do is just give this parenthesis and it will call that show function over here. So hello old, so show is nothing but an object that is pointing to this function. Okay, so if I give this parenthesis, it will call all the things that is present in that block of code. Okay, this is the first one. Now let's me go to the step 3. In step 3 we will talk about nested and nested function. Okay, nested function. So let's say just a nested function. So okay, let me write an outer function, let name it also outer, and let other function be inner, which is a inner function, which is obvious, right? So I will give this as this is a inner function. I'm providing this as an inner function, and outside of this I will print this is a outer function. Okay, this is an outer function, and I need to call that inner function in order to run this program. Okay, nested function, the inner function must be called outside the outer function. Okay, in order to run this inner function. Okay, so if I need to run this program, what I need to just do is outer and call that function. In order to call that function, we give the function name and this parenthesis. Okay, so if I call this function, first of all the code will see this thing, but it will not run since it this function has not been called yet, and it will see this line, this is outer function at first, so it will print that this is a outer function in our console, and it will call this inner function. Now this inner function will run, and this is inner function will run, right? This is our normal expectation of the program. So let me show you what it does in actual by running this code. So if I run this code, this is the outer function is running first, and then this inner function is running at second. So I hope this is also clear, and let me move to the last step, that is step 4. In step 4, what we are going to discuss is function can take another function as argument. Okay, so we have seen the normal argument, right? We have passed the list, right? List a dictionary as an argument, but here we are passing function as an argument to the other function. So let me show you some example. Define outer, and I am passing some function, so I'm storing that function over here. So function, and then I want to immediately go to the inner function. So let me go to the inner function, and in inner function I am printing as simple. This is a inner function. So I am printing the inner function, and that function which is passed as a parameter is present over here. So it is func, and I will go for space back and write print. This is our outer function, and in second one I must call this inner function outside that inner function. In order to call that inner function, right, I need to call it in the body of that outer function. So in order to call this function, we need to pass a function. So let me make another function which is known as so. So let me define a function known as so. So in function known as so, I will pass in this is a so function, uh, function passed as an argument. Okay, so now I need to call that outer function, right, out outer function, and I will pass the so object. Okay, that's if I don't give this parenthesis, then this will be the object, right? This will be an object that is of type function, right? Class function, which I have previously shown you, right, over here, class as function. So this class and this is an object. Okay, so this is referring to this one, and if I call this as so, then at first what will happen is that func will take this so object, and it will not run this at the first site, right? This function is not being called it, so it will not run. First of all, this must show you this is a outer function at first, and it will call this inner function. So inner function, this is a inner function, and in func this is calling you show function, right? So it will go to that show object which it is referring to. So it will go over here and it will run this code. This is a so passed as an argument. So this is my initial anticipation. So let me do that. So this is outer function at first, and this is the inner function at second, and this is a function passed as an argument in third one. Okay, if that much is clear what I have discussed here, then we will move to the decorators. So in decorators, so the same thing, right? We have passed the function as an argument, right? So this same thing can be also be achieved by an alternative method. So we'll give this as an alternative method. So here, so there is an alternative method, but let me first give you some. I think I missed some simple examples over here. Let me go back to my code, and here is an inner function. So this is an inner function, and we are going to return, so we are not calling the return over here. No, first of all I like to, let me uncomment this one, let me comment this one, and I'll show you. I'll again do one example and I'll show you. Okay, so let me move towards the decorators. Okay, so at decorators, what we are going to do is define an outer function which is taking the function as an argument, and we are defining our inner function, right? we are defining an inner function where we will print this is a inner function here, and we will call that function which is passed as an argument, so func. And in the next line we are going to say, let's say print, and we are in outer function, right? This is a outer function, and here we are not going to just print or do something calling, right? But we are going to return the inner function. Okay, return the inner, right? We are doing return inner as an object, right? We are passing it as an object. Okay, return inner, and then we are returning the inner, and we need a function defined, so let me write this. This is a show function passed as an argument, so we will pass this as an argument, so outer, and this so will be passed as an argument, but there will not be the parenthesis over here. You need to be careful. And this since this function, this outer function is returning something, right? So it is returning the inner function, so we need to just place that inner object, right, inner object in this bar. Okay, so if I place that inner into bar, and in order to let me print something, right? Print this is last code. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just call that inner function, okay, bar, and this, then this will call the inner function calling. Okay, this will just, so in this code what will happen is that what we have done new is that we are returning the inner object, right, inner function as an inner object. Okay, inner object, and since that bar is pointing to that inner object, we can call that inner function by using this bar and this bracket, and I think this was it. So I run this code first. So this is outer function, it has run first, right? So this should run first, and then what we have done is a written outer so we have passed so over here, so this will be now our so function, right? This will be our so function, this will be, this is a inner function, so we are returning this thing to over there. And now since we are calling the bar, then it will go to the inner function, right? This is a inner function, and this func is representing the function. So if I give parenthesis, it will go to that function, meaning this. So this is a so function passed as an argument, and our program ends. Okay, this looks slightly confusing, but if you go step by step, you may crack this secret. Okay, so this much is okay. I have not talked about the main thing. Okay, there now the same thing can be achieved by using the alternative method. Okay, so there is an alternative method over here. Alternative method. In alternative method we are going to define the same thing, outer function, func function, and we are going to define a inner function which is going to print me the same thing, right? Print this is a inner function, right? this is the inner function, and here we are going to call that function. From here we are going to call the function which is passed as an argument in this inner function. And if I print this is outer function, if I print this as an outer function, and in the case of a decorator uh, we will return this inner object representing that function, right? Inner object representing that function. So if I want to call this as an outer, and if I make my function as a def, so as a def, so, and if I do print this is a so function, okay. So what it does is basically what I have explained over above in this code. Here the outer function is decorating this so function, so outer will take so as an argument, right? It will pass it over here, function over here, and if it does pass it over here, then it will not run this at the first site, so this will run at first, and then since it is returning inner, then if I just call this so, then what it does is first of all it will just print out this outer function, and it will go to the inner one, okay, inner one. So it will go to the inner one, and this is the inner function, and the function will be called, this is a so function, okay. This will be my code, and this is what I have expected. So in this video I have explained you about the basic concept of decorators. So I hope you like the concept of this one. So we have discussed about decorators. In the next video we are going to discuss about the oops concept.